morning. So tonight we are making dinner at home again, and I have deer loin. This is deer that Alex harvested. It's actually loin from two different deers. One he harvested at my parents' house, and one he harvested here a couple of miles down the road at a local farm. And we're gonna have Brussels sprouts along with the deer loin, and those Brussels sprouts also came from the same farm down the road. And I will put a link in the description below to the farm that we have gotten our local produce from in case you're in the area and you would like to purchase from them. You can do that and they would love it. So I'll show you kind of how that comes together and show you the finished product. And then after that, I'm gonna make pie. I'm gonna make a hopefully blueberry and a peach pie. You know how the packages come with like 2 pie crusts. So I'm gonna do one of each, and we got some ice cream to go with it as well. So take you through that whole process, and hope it inspires you to cook the same thing one night this week. So the Brussels sprouts that I'm making tonight, they're inspired by a restaurant that we used to eat at a good bit. It's called Middleton Place. They have a restaurant there. It's also a garden park that you can tour. You can tour it for the day. It's a beautiful place to visit, but they have a restaurant there and it's very, very good. And they used to have a Brussels sprout dish that had bacon and like a mustard dressing on it, and it was just absolutely wonderful. So I'm gonna try to recreate a version of that. I'm being lazy though. I didn't cook any bacon, and I know it would be way better with bacon because everything is better with bacon, but I'm not doing it tonight. So I have bacon grease. We're gonna cook it in bacon grease and see if that suffices to make it, you know, maybe close to as good. I don't know, we'll see. I don't think it could be bad. And for the deer loin, I've already got that marinated, and what I did is I marinated it in just a very simple marinade. Worcestershire, if that's how you say it. If you're supposed to pronounce it different, let me know. But Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and then a little bit of oregano. And I'm just going to pan sear it and then stick it in the oven for maybe like 10 minutes. It's very small, so it doesn't need to cook long. And just depending on the size of the loin that you have, that'll determine how long you cook it. And I'm not sure what the temperature is supposed to be on deer. You might want to check that. I kind of do the feel test, like I feel how firm it is. I know that's not a very scientific way of being able to determine if it's ready, but if you feel safer looking up like an exact temperature, you might want to do that. I haven't done that, so that's just a disclaimer. So I'm going to be mixing up like a little marinade to go onto the Brussels sprouts. This is like a decent amount of olive oil. I will show you how much I put in that little bowl. Yep, like it's a decent amount. Like I would say, I don't know, 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup-ish. And then I'm gonna get some mustard to put in there. This is just like an organic spicy brown mustard. Also doing maple syrup, black pepper, Himalayan sea salt, garlic powder, cider vinegar. I mean, just a splash. And like once the Brussels sprouts start to cook, I'm gonna pour this. Okay, so I have tinted, as I showed you, the deer loin. And just to let you know, I did cook it at 400 degrees in the oven for about 5 minutes. And I flipped it once while it was in there, so it did not need long. This is a very small loin, and so it didn't need much time at all. I could tell by the firmness that it was really starting to cook. So, you know, if you have a small one like that, 5 minutes after you've pan-seared it is probably going to be enough. And then if you tint it and let it rest, it's going to continue to cook again. And the Brussels sprouts are basically ready, in my opinion. Okay, So now we're gonna make pie. So I've just got 2 pie shells. These are pre-made that I bought from the store, and they're an organic version that I think I may have gotten them at either Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. And I also have the pre-made pie, this kind of pie crust that I'm gonna put on top. And I'm a very lazy baker, and so I hope you're not mortified at how I do this. I know a lot of people would probably do it in a much more sophisticated way, but I try to make things easy. If they're not easy, I'm not going to do it. So anyway, what I have here is coconut sugar, and I'm going to put about 1/2 cup in each pie dish. You may want to put more, and you may not like coconut sugar, but I try to do as much as I can to keep things like a little healthier. I mean, I know it's pie, it's not like that healthy, but you know, there's little things that you can do that, you know, they help out. I put about probably not even 1/2 cup of coconut sugar in each one of these. And I'm gonna put a little bit of organic flour, and this is just all-purpose flour. And the flour basically just thickens the juices in your pie. If you've ever made pie before, you know that. And this is probably just like 1/4 cup, maybe closer to half, 1/4 cup to half. You don't need a lot. You don't want it to taste like flour, but you want it to get thick. So I'm just gonna kind of toss this around a little bit, and you want it to be coated well. That's the biggest thing. Like, you just want to make sure that there's a little bit of sugar and a little bit of flour on each piece. And these are frozen fruit. This is frozen peaches and frozen blueberries. And I didn't thaw them out first or anything. Like I say, I'm a very lazy baker, and that's okay. Somehow it always still seems to turn out. And I'm sad for you that I didn't follow any kind of recipe. If you need a recipe, there's plenty of recipes on Pinterest that you can follow that, like I say, are probably much more sophisticated than the way that I'm doing it. But, you know, we're not big on like a lot of sugars or anything like that. So our taste may be a lot different than yours. Now, I am going to top it with ice cream. So that ice cream is going to provide extra sweetness as well. So, you know, keep that in mind. Like, if you're planning on topping it with ice cream or whipped cream or like whatever you like, that'll add sugar to it. So you may not need quite as much in your pie if you're trying to cut down on sugar like we are. We just like to be a little bit healthier if we can. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the blueberry. Hopefully none of you expert bakers out there are cringing right now. I'm sure most people would do this in a bowl and then pour it in, but I don't want to wash a bowl. I don't want to wash an extra bowl. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put butter on top. This is 1/2 stick of butter, and I'm going to cut this 1/2 stick of butter in half, and I'm going to put like half each into each pie. It's a lot of butter, but you know, again, we try to be as healthy as we can. So this is organic grass-fed butter. It's the Kerrygold butter that you can get pretty much anywhere now. If you have a Whole Foods or if you have a Costco or Trader Joe's, they all sell Kerrygold butter. And it's very, very good, and it is better for you. And if you don't know a lot about why it's better, you know, for you than other butter, there's plenty of research online that you can do, and, you know, check that out and read up on it and see if you want to make the switch. And Costco actually has has their own, I guess it's like a Kirkland brand grass-fed butter now as well, and it's very good too, and it's a little bit cheaper. So that's a cheaper option for you if you haven't seen that yet. Okay, so I've got this pie crust out. Actually, I'm going to sprinkle just a little more sugar on top before I close this up. I don't know, do any of you guys who cook kind of feel your way through it? I don't know. I don't like to be too exact when I cook. I just sort of like to eyeball things, feel my way through it. If anybody else cooks like that, I would like to know, because I feel like I'm the only one. All right, so we've got that laid on there. We'll do the other one. And again, this is pre-made pie crust. I think I got this one at Whole Foods, but they have it at Trader Joe's as well. And it is the organic. And that does help. You know, it does make it a little bit less bad for you. And I encourage you to read up on that and do your own research. But to me, it's worth the money. And a lot of people that think that they have a gluten intolerance, sometimes it can actually just come down to the glyphosate in the wheat. So it's worth investigating just to see, you know, if it might be a product that you can handle. A lot of people can't eat wheat or gluten, but sometimes it's actually not the gluten that's the problem. It can be all the other bad stuff that's in the wheat that we are sold. These are folded under. I'm gonna score them and then I'll pop them in the oven and let you see what they look like. Okay, so I'm just gonna score the top of these. And one thing that I didn't mention, the reason that I use coconut sugar is because it doesn't spike your blood sugar as badly as other types of sugar. It's just like a low glycemic index type of sugar. So again, you know, if you're looking for options like that, I encourage you to investigate coconut sugar if you're not already using it. I like it. Some people don't, but we like it, and it's worth it to us to use something that is a little bit more friendly to your body. So you start out at 425 for 15 minutes, and then you cut it down to 375 for another 45 minutes. So that's how you want to bake it. And you can also add things to the pie like cinnamon or lemon juice or vanilla. Like those are all things that you could have added in there if you wanted to, or like a little bit of salt. Like you could fine tune that. I literally did like the fastest, easiest pie ever. So don't fault me for it. It'll still taste good, but you can do those things too. And I just kind of forgot to throw them in, but I don't think it makes a huge difference. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know when we eat it. I think if you put enough ice cream on anything, it's gonna taste fine. So I just slid them in the oven and I put a pan underneath them in case they get, you know, juicy and overflow and don't want them to destroy the oven. So I've got the pie out of the oven and they look amazing. Okay, I'm gonna dish up the ice cream, and this is my favorite ice cream. It's Alden's organic vanilla bean. And it's a little bit pricier, you know, than the average store-bought ice cream. I bought this at Whole Foods, and like I say, it's a little bit more pricey, but it is so good, and the ingredients are so simple. It doesn't have nearly as much sugar, and it really has like a good creamy taste. It doesn't feel like it's just air. So we absolutely love this ice cream. I would rather buy ice cream half as much and eat this one. So if you haven't tried it, I recommend that you look at your local Whole Foods and see if they have it there. I'm sure they do. But this looks amazing. I'll give you a close-up look with the ice cream on it too, and I'll let you know how it is. All right, here we go. This is blueberry and peach pie with ice cream. Amazing. And now I'm gonna try the peach. And y'all, this was so simple. You saw me make it. I didn't put any effort into it at all. Amazing. For something that took me what felt like just a few minutes to make, oh my gosh, it is incredible. Try it, let me know if you do it the way I did it, or if you tweaked it and you spent more time on it, let me know. But I hope you get to try some peach pie and some blueberry pie soon, and we will see you next time. Alrighty, bye.